In the internet. We are now streaming onto Twitch, so just give us a few moments and we'll
Are
totally
we?
be good to go.
Are we though?
I did an RPG. Maybe we should check it out and see. Why is there? I really hate this Twitch interface, dude. Like, there's no I can't. Oh, there's a following button right there. Never mind. But it's not in the drop-down
Embarrassing.
menu. It's like here's all the stuff in the menu. Oh, it's not in the menu. It's in its own button. Whatever. We're not showing up on there. Oh, live channels. Oh my gosh. Am I? No.
What?
It's not there. That's weird. Did it pop up on Twitter? No. Oh wait, yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. Let me see if it's working. And then we can get started. And also, I think going forward, this episode, when I do get to record them, I will split them into parts and put the music back in just to give it that old, good aimless feel from back in the day. Okay, and stuff. Let me see if it's working.
What?
T, you say something.
A treat.
We can get started.
What? What's happening right now?
And also, I think going forward, this episode,
Is there pie?
when I do get to record them, I will
I want
split them
pie.
into parts and put the music back in just to give it that old, good aimless feel from back in the day. Okay, and stuff. Let me see if it's working.
What?
T, you say something.
A
We
treat.
can get started.
What?
It's echoing.
Yeah.
Ah!
Why? Why?
Forward, this episode,
Is there pie?
when I do get to record
Oh,
them,
it's
I will
it's
split
weird.
them
Like
into parts and put the music back in
the
just to give
Hop
that
software that it comes
old,
with.
good aimless feel
when you-
from back in the day. Okay, and stuff.
For some reason, so it
What?
allows you to have
Something.
three
treat.
audio sources. It can come from the
Got it.
capture
What?
device itself. It can come from a microphone.
It's echoing.
And there's also another
Ah.
volume slider
Ah.
for PC. So I guess it can
Why?
take PC audio too.
This episode. Oh, I'm sorry.
And what was weird is because I didn't mute the Twitch stream when I was streaming, so and then the Hop thing, even though I had the volume turned all the way down, it still recorded the PC audio. So some of the I don't know if that one is still on my Twitch channel, but it recorded a Machete Kills commercial, and because it's delayed, it started playing once, and then it heard itself, and then re-recorded it again, and so it just kept what's that term? That singing. Man, I can't remember what it's called, but it's it started looping on top of itself, and it just kept adding and adding and adding and adding. It was like, oh my gosh! And when I listened to it later, I was like, wow, it sounds really exciting and also really really noisy.
It's like, what's going on here? What's going on?
Oh, what's that? What's that?
Talking
term
about the
called?
one where one person starts singing, then the next person starts singing the same
From
thing,
the
but they're
beginning,
afterwards
and
and
then,
that kind of
a
thing.
bunch of people.
I have no idea what that term is, but I know what you're talking about.
I think it starts with an R.
Does it? Maybe? I don't know. Because I wouldn't even know how to look it up. Would you be like, that thing that happens when one person sings and then the other person sings? What the hell?
Well, think of a song that is often sung in that manner.
Row, row, row your boat? It's the only one I ever know. I mean,
Is
I'm
that
actually
where
gonna
the R comes from?
maybe. I'm going to type it into Google and see what it finds. That thing where person
Echo
sings,
singing pattern.
then someone starts singing from the beginning, and so on.
Okay, well, I guess we'll start the episode now.
Ah, it brought up a bunch of stuff about depression. that can't be right.
Ah, yeah, it's called a round.
Around.
Right?
Huh. That's lazy.
No, not a round. Or
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's called
round.
the same. It's like that.
singing around. Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
Yeah, I just brought up a bunch of stuff like schizophrenia and depression. that is an odd thing to. You're
Not-
trying to tell me something, Google.
Okay, so I guess we'll start now. Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babble Z, episode 222. I'm Ticketmaster, joined by...
RPG Maniac 05.
And Traptical.
Yeah, see, it has roll your boat for like some of the other. Oh, sorry. Well, like. JK,
Find out
guys.
what we're talking about. Check out the Twitch replay.
Yes. But yeah, we'll be doing some what you've been playing. and some new stuff. Yeah. Who wants to go first with what they've been playing?
Tropical, because he's been playing stuff that I want to hear about now. Cause
All right, so awesome thing happened. I went to GameStop yesterday, and they I don't know if they're doing this everywhere, but they're having a sale on PlayStation 2 games. Basically PlayStation 2 anything. Like if it's PlayStation 2, it's 75% off. And I stood there, and it was their typical setup for PlayStation 2 games now. Generally in GameStops, like mall stores and stuff like that, where it's just yellow envelopes and they have discs in them, and there's like a ton of them there.
oh, they have those thingies where they have like the big bins at the GameStops I've been, and they just like have all the games in the bins. or
The
something.
PS2 games?
Yeah, they do.
Oh
the same-
yeah. Some of them still have that too.
I haven't seen the envelope ones.
Yeah, we just have the envelopes here
Are they
now.
cheaper because they don't have cases? I always wondered about that.
Oh,
No, I don't think they care.
Like if you trade your
They-
games
they-
into GameStop, I've done it several times where I was like, I want to keep this case because it's cool, and I just traded in the disc because it was just, and it doesn't matter. They don't take anything off
Yeah.
because as long as the disc is in good condition.
No, I
they
mean
don't
like when you're buying it, does like do you get like a
Yeah,
discount?
no, they don't.
Oh.
They don't care.
Yeah,
No.
if they're not,
No.
if they don't care about the money they're giving you, they certainly don't care about the money.
They're taking from you.
They're taking.
I mean, they do care
Massive
about that part,
play.
but they want more of it, so they're not going to give you a discount.
They're not gonna be like, oh, this game doesn't have a case. Here, let me just give you a few dollars off. Nah, that's not how GameStop works. If anything, they'll probably charge you more because now it's like an inconvenience to them to keep the games in good condition. So like,
Well, I mean, they always take all the games out. That's one of my complaints about GameStop. But anyway, yeah, so I was there in front of this. At least they had taken it out of the cardboard box. For a while, it was just this giant cardboard box that sat on the counter, and you could flip through them. And now it was on one of their like 2-foot shelf thingies, and they had lots of them. They're all facing, and yeah, so I just decided, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go through these and see what I can find. And I think on my first trip, I got 6 games. I think I was just like flipping through, and I found Way of the Samurai 1.
Oh, you suck.
that
That is such a lucky find. I wanted
I
to play
know,
that game
it
for such a
was-
long time, and Sean was like, "Oh, first try."
I know.
Because I was looking online, I wanted Way of the Samurai 1, and I looked on Amazon, and I think it was something. It was like the more expensive of the series, and I thought, well, that sucks. Like that's the only one I've played. I have Way of the Samurai 2, but I haven't played that one, and well, I don't know. My psychology when I buy games is sort of weird. But anyway, I got that one. I saw Tourist Trophy, and I was like, oh yeah, this was by Polyphony Digital, and I was like, I didn't play this back in the day, so I got that one. And then I sort of I've been trying to do this thing for a little while now, where the PlayStation Classics on the PlayStation Store, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to justify to myself, and maybe if other people are interested, to them as well, why certain games are in, like, why are they calling them classics? Like the Lilo and Stitch games. Like, why is this here as a PlayStation Classic? Unless they're just loosely defining it that way. But anyways, to give that meaning, I've been looking at old PlayStation games, and then I just decided, like, I'm gonna look at old Sony games just because I'm interested. And Michael Pachter was talking smack about Sony.
Oh, I know, man. That bonus round, I just wanted to punch him in the face the whole time.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick up any game I find here that is published
Games over 2 years old have no value.
Messed up. But yeah, I found Jet X2O, which is actually a CD game for the PS2. And after I tried it out, it was developed by Idle Minds, who the last thing I remember playing of theirs was Pain on PS3. And then I picked up NBA 07 featuring The Life Volume 2 and My Street. Oh wait, sorry. My Street was the one developed by Idle Minds. Jet X2O was developed by... Crap, can't remember. Anyway, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get these, and then I saw Onimusha 3 Demon Siege there, and I was like, I don't know if I have this one, but it's pretty
that
cheap.
series.
I'm
So
surprised it hasn't got an HD remake. Or
I
like
know
HD
they
re-release.
Yeah.
there should have been enough of them by now. It's like you
Onimusha is
think.
just gone. It's weird. Oh, and by the way, I just looked it up. Way of the Samurai for PS2 on Amazon is $3 for a used one, plus something like $4 for shipping, or a $32 for a new one.
That's a large jump.
And I was like, man, that seems like a lot. I don't know. Anyway, so I brought those up to the counter, and I ended up paying $4.28 for those 6 games. Jet X2O was actually free. The most expensive one, Way of the Samurai, was $1.35.
Oh, so this was like a buy two get one free sale.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
Jet X2O
Wait,
was
what? How is it free then?
Jet X2O was
Because
2 cents.
Because it was
Before
that cheap.
$75.
Oh, that is crazy.
And then, with I have the Power Up Rewards card, so it was another 10% off.
Because you
and
need
yeah,
10% off on 2 cents.
Yeah, like,
1 cent.
I got 75% off and then another 10% off of 2 cents. And it was just like, I think
Just
that's
take it.
0.5, so it rounds down, and then it's just like, it's 0.
It's like, here, just take the game.
And so I came home and I tried them all, and like they look terrible on the TV that I was playing on, but since it's connected to the capture card, like they look fine on my monitor. Because I didn't maximize it, so it's just really tiny on my monitor. It's like, that looks okay. I don't understand. I sort of understand why it looks bad on this 40-inch here. But well, 2 things struck me. One is like the mechanics of some games still hold up really well, and the other thing was this was just something I noticed. It seems like everything back in the day was 60 frames a second, which is like huge for people now. And it's like, that's weird. Like, these are PS2 games.
I'm pretty sure games back in the day were not 60 frames a second.
Actually, they were. Like, Metal Gear Solid 2 was definitely 60 frames per second. Jet X2O,
And
I'm not
how
sure.
are you testing this tropical?
By
Oh,
looking
like
at it, I'm guessing.
I'm using it in the sort of marketing sense, where marketing
Oh.
say 60 frames per second, even though it may deviate between 40 and 60, but it's like higher than 30. I can tell the difference between 30
Okay, tropical, if you say so.
beyond that. Like, no, Metal Gear Solid 2. Go back and play Metal Gear Solid 2 on PS2, and then compare it to Metal Gear Solid 3, and you'll feel there's like a smoothness to Metal Gear Solid 2 when you're outside of the rain that just isn't present in any of Metal Gear Solid 3, because it was
Tropical. You sound insane right now.
this is
I just want to put that out.
true. This is true. People didn't talk about frame rate back in the day for console games, though. But anyway, so I was just like, I was so struck that I had just bought 6 games for $4, and they all seemed pretty decent. I was like, so last night I was like, you know what? I feel like going back again. So I went back.
I feel like going back again.
And this time I
Your
was
wife
sort
know
of
about this.
I know, right?
going back to GameStop because PS2 games are really cheap, and I'm just gonna go through their entire collection and see what is there. And like at this point, because of the price, I wasn't even really concerned about that. It was just like, I'm interested in seeing just like what was going on in the PS2 area. I had less money back then, so I didn't have. I noticed recently I have way more PS3 games than I have PS2 games, and I was just I was interested, so I went back, And yeah, I picked up another 14 games. And I'll just read off the list here. And some of them are crazy. So I got Karaoke Revolution Volume 3, because that one had Snake Eater on it. I'm not sure. I think I have that one, but I'm not sure.
Gosh.
No,
Oh,
I'm gonna get
tropical.
that one. Karaoke Revolution Party.
Because it's not a part
Then I was
of
like,
that
after I
game.
played like NBA 07 The Life, it was like, oh, this is volume 2, and it's actually there's like a story mode in a basketball game, and it's a sequel to the one before it, because the story starts with like previously in The Life. I was like, oh, really? So I went back and I found NBA 06 featuring The Life Volume 1, and also NBA 08 featuring The Life Volume 3.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, oh, that's awesome. And then let's see, Haven Call of the King, which was an early game by Traveler's Tales, who make all the Lego games now. Dark Summit was a THQ, like, I guess snowboarding was really big because SSX
Yeah.
at the launch was so popular. So Dark Summit, Ultra Echo. I just remember the title, but I don't remember anything about it. And it's like, I'll pick that one up also. And then I found like the NFL Game Day series, which was
Ew.
989's NFL game. I was like, I'm interested
Aren't
in
those
seeing.
PS1 games?
There were several of them on PS2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, I was just like, what was football like before EA was the only one making football games? And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna grab all of them. So I got 2002, 2003, and 2004. I found No One Lives Forever,
Oh man, yeah, that one's
Mortal
good.
Kombat Armageddon.
No one lives forever. Why does that sound familiar?
It's a first-person shooter with the lady spy named Kate Archer
And Monolith.
and funny dialogue.
Apparently, it was rated like the best shooter ever since Half-Life
Oh my.
back at the time.
I know I've heard of it. I've seen it.
Suffering, which
So
Do you
that was
remember-
that was a cool game. Where, like it had that mechanic of like Mass Effect, where it's like the ending or like the
Yeah.
decision shaped like the outcome, and like the ending would like change the effect of the second game. But then I don't think they went after the second one. It just stopped at the second game.
yeah. Oh, I can't find that one. Well, I'll get to that. And then also, I picked up one game. So another thing I noticed while I was doing this was there were a lot more types of games on PS2.
Yep.
When you think about PS3, you think about the big genres: shooters, action, adventure, I guess, racing games. You know, there's very RPGs. There's just very few types of games. It feels like on PS3 and PS2. Like the one I picked up because I was like, I've never even heard of this, and I looked up the reviews before I picked it up because like, and I didn't look for gamer reviews because I was pretty sure they would have all hated it. But I looked for people who actually bought the game and like looked at their reviews, and they thought it was really good. So I picked up Pro Bull Wrangling or Pro Bull Riding Out of the Chute.
The hell?
Yeah, right. I've never
RPG.
riding game. And so I picked it up, and so I got another 14 games yesterday night for $10. So I got 20 games for $14 yesterday. And I started going through them. Like the NFL Game Day games have making of content on the disc, and it was really neat because I guess NFL Game Day 2002 was the first one that they made for PlayStation 2. So they were using the the stuff that they always talk about at the beginning of the new console. It's like, wow, with the PlayStation 2 now, our creativity is limitless, and we can like put a lot more polygons and stuff. And they show like the models on their, by today's standards, extremely low polygon.
Oh my.
But it was just like, wow, this is really cool. It's sort of looking at the history. Like that studio later became Sony San Diego, right? And now they only make MLB The Show. But back in the day, they were making all of the sports. And I was like, wow. And I guess Game Day, for a while was like higher rated than all the other ones as well. And these three were not. These were in the heyday. But whatever. Yeah, so I was just like, now I'm on a high. And since I've moved to a bigger city now, I was like, I'm just gonna see if I can hit up more GameStops and just go through all of their PS2 stuff and just see if I can find things that are interesting. And because it's so cheap, it's like I don't. Yeah, it feels like a Steam sale, but for real. And
Physical
except
goods.
the game's really old. So today I went out to another GameStop and got another 19 games that I'll just rattle off here. SOCOM 3, The Getaway, Thrillville, Fisherman's Bass Club, Blitz, iToy Operation Spy,
Yay.
Spectrum Warrior, Steel Lancer Arena something.
I'm not sure that's a title.
Yeah, it's cut off the trailer on the receipt. Siphon Filter Omega Strain,
Yeah.
Psyops, The Mindgate
Double
Conspiracy,
yeah.
Armored Core 2, Ready to Rumble 2, Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, The Getaway Black Monday, The Thing, Time
Yeah.
Crisis 2. I'm not sure why I got that one because
No gun.
no TV. I mean, I have the guns. I just don't have a TV that it works with anymore.
Ooh.
SOCOM, the one after SOCOM 3.
Combined assault.
Yeah.
The sequel.
Kessen. That one was weird. I saw Kessen, I was like, this was published by Koei and EA? So I was just like, that intrigues me, so I picked it
That
up.
was back
And,
before the big merger. Is that what that is?
yeah, before the Tecmo thing. And then Hot Shots Golf 4. And that was $12.
Wow.
So I increased my PS2 backlog by 39 games.
Huh.
Like $26.
That sounds counterproductive. Is what that sounds like.
But it was really neat because I was just going through the games to see if they would work. Hang on a second. Thought they didn't scan one of the games. Now I feel bad. I stole one. I just didn't see it. Oh no, I didn't see it. Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, which I thought was interesting in concept back in the day. But I didn't try it, and I guess I will try it now. But yeah, it's been really cool because I've been looking at these games and graphically, I think because of our TVs nowadays, graphically they don't hold up really well. They're extremely jaggy. And I don't know if it's because of this TV or just LCD TVs in general, but yeah, they're...
It might not be the TVH optical. Just saying.
Really?
It might just
You think-
be the graphics were just not that great.
Well, I mean, that too. But, like... Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes I can look past that. But just like, yeah, the graphics, the picture quality is really poor. I feel like it's like, oh, my eyes kind of hurt looking at it. It's like, instead of lines, they're not even stair step. They're like a saw blade.
Oh my.
And yeah, it's just like, oh, this is sort of painful, but it's really neat and just I don't know. I'm interested in I guess some of the history now, like what the game I've been looking at most recently was 2 Extreme, which I guess was the sequel to an ESPN licensed game.
Was it extreme?
Maybe.
Because apparently this one's too extreme now.
Back in the day, everything, people
I
loved.
know. I remember Dave Mirra had his own like BMW or BMX game.
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw that one today. I was like, I don't know if I want this. Yeah, today it was more about I'm looking for stuff that's interesting and hasn't really been replaced. So things like there was a whole bunch of Tony Hawk games at the one I went to today. I was like, well, Tony Hawk 3, but there's also the HD version of Tony Hawk 3, which I understand is pretty faithful. And so there's no reason to get this one. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me, I was thinking about it, I was like, is this because I want to collect them? It's like, no, I don't think that's the case. I just want to see them and sort of understand. I guess looking at the PS2 could help us understand what could happen in the PS4 era, because the PS3 era was very risk adverse, and that's why we see so few genres there. But with PS4 and just like the indie push, it feels like we could see a lot of different, games about different stuff. And as it becomes easier for people to make games, like we can see games that are about different things. Like part of me is worried, like if everyone who makes games in the future is only making games because they liked playing games, then all they're gonna know is games, and they're just gonna make games from the viewpoint of someone who has mostly only played games, and that would be kind of sad. I mean, we wouldn't have, if like Kazunori was only interested in games and computers, Gran Turismo would not be the way it is. But it's because he's super interested into cars, and that's why we have Gran Turismo the way it is. And so, if we can include more people's different interests into games, then that would be good. And yeah, that the pro bull riding game is just like, see, that could never exist on PS3 because no one would invest in it. But with indie games these days, it could happen. Someone could make a Unity bull riding game for PS4 if they wanted to. Yes. So
Or
that's.
Ouya, because why not,
or-
right?
I think it's probably. I feel like it might be easier on PS4 if they can get Unity working really well on PS4. Optimization, I think, will be less of an issue, because like on Ouya, you sort of have to optimize because it's not as powerful. With the PS4, I have a feeling if your game is somewhat simplistic or just like not really taxing or open world or whatever, you won't really have to do much optimization. You can be pretty sloppy. And that's fine. As long as it doesn't break your system, that's fine.
I also looked it up while you were talking, Tropical, and Jet X2 was developed by Killer Game.
I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, they don't have a Wikipedia page
remember-
either. So
Yeah, looking up Killer Game brings up their website, and it shows like all the games that they worked on, right? So Frantics would have been. What was Frantics about? I know that title.
Do you though? Do you?
Frantics. Oh, it was on PSP. Oh, it's the game with that cover. I know nothing about it, but I've seen the title. Oh, it's a puzzle game. Anyway, so yeah, I went on a giant PS2 hunting spree. And like, yeah, even now I'm thinking of going to another GameStop tomorrow.
Tisk,
And just,
tisk,
like,
tisk.
I am a GameStop vulture right now, picking over the carcass of the PS2, taking all the good stuff that's left,
Someone
and
needs to
some of the
give you an intervention.
not good stuff that's left as well. Today I almost got Jaws Unleashed because yeah, I haven't seen anything like that in a while, and I found Dragon Quest VIII, but apparently they had lost it, and so it was like, ah, dang. So fun.
So, Tropical, did you make any progress on your backlog?
Yeah, he
yeah.
added to it.
I did. I cataloged my backlog. See, now I can't even remember what I actually played.
Because because you didn't.
I
You
don't
bought.
think I really did. Yeah, I just got all this stuff, and it's so now I remember what last week. So you guys heard about Flappy Bird, right?
Yeah.
I did not. I don't know what that is, and I don't know why
Okay,
people
so
keep talking about it.
essentially, like a year ago, maybe like 9 months ago, a guy in Vietnam created Flappy Bird and put it on the App
It
Store.
said, I think the article I read said September, but whatever. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I remember like it wasn't until recently when it exploded
Yeah,
that.
that was weird because like I saw like how it had been out for a while, but it's only gained
Yeah.
popularity recently. So that was
Um,
weird.
Essentially, I think what happened, like the first time I heard about it, I think it was a Kotaku article talking about um, why Nintendo might not be able to, or like reasons why Nintendo could possibly dominate if they put their games on mobile phones, or possibly like wouldn't do that well because, and then they brought up Flappy Bird. It's like, see, this game, it looks like a Nintendo game. It's got those pipes and it's got all this stuff, and then like people will play this because they think, I mean, maybe not because they think it's a Nintendo game, but because it reminds them of Nintendo games. And then, so yeah, like Nintendo would, they have to contend with lots of games that look and feel like their games on mobile, so maybe they wouldn't do that well. Or people on mobile are looking for Nintendo games. And then if Nintendo were actually making those games, then they would just destroy everyone else on the market. But anyway, yeah, like the first time I saw it was an article like that. It was not really even about it. And I think afterwards there was an article saying it's like, oh, this game stole Nintendo's like graphics and stuff. And so this Flappy Bird is a knockoff, and they should be expecting a call from Nintendo's lawyers soon. And then yeah, then suddenly I saw a whole bunch of tweets about Flappy Bird, how it was extremely difficult, and suddenly like everyone was playing it and everyone was hating it for being a bad game and just all this stuff. And yeah, then it became it was a sensation for about 2 weeks, I think.
I wouldn't
where-
call it sensation tropical. I don't even know what it was. It was just like, oh, it's
Neither do
$1.
I.
Let me check this out. Ho, ho, ho. And then there you go.
I actually think it was a free game.
Oh well, even more to my point, it's free. Well, let me try this out. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, well,
Oh, I just tapped the screen. Oh,
Sensation
the
might
bird
not
goes
be-
up and down through the pipes. Oh, that's so
It-
easy. Oh,
it was the novelty of the day for
Yes.
about 2 weeks. And it was crazy. Like, there were articles coming out. Apparently, the developer was getting like $50,000 a day in ad revenue because so many people were playing it. And then, yeah, suddenly he was just like, he decided to pull the game from the store. And then he apparently, like, he just gave an interview recently about what happened, but he took a break for the internet a few days and then came back and said that he removed the game because it was too addictive, and that's not why he made it.
right.
That doesn't make sense
he
at
made it
all.
be sort of a relaxing game that you play when you're relaxed, but apparently it was really hard, and people were like egged on by that or something. It's like, oh, it's really hard, I must do well, or it, yeah. Anyway, it was insane, and what I took away from it personally was I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I think I could make that game. And I took 3 hours on Sunday night and I made it.
Ah,
And I was like, oh, see, yeah, this is awesome. And I don't know, it was crazy. I just suddenly felt very accomplished as a gamer. I was like, man, I didn't get to play. I played Flappy Bird twice. I was at a Best Buy and they just had it installed on a Moto X, and I saw it and was like, oh, this is that thing I've been reading about. And I played it twice and I was like, man, it is really hard. I think my highest score was 2. And then, if you haven't seen it, it's basically
Okay,
So
Chuck, is there like a point that you're trying to make about Flappy Bird? You have to
yeah, I'm so
explain the
confused right
mechanics
now.
to
It's
it.
like, it's like, what's happening? I'm so confused.
wait, point of what?
I have no idea.
I mean, you're about to explain the mechanics, but you don't really do anything. It's not that.
Well, it's a game, right?
Okay, fine. Whatever.
So
Continue.
just,
Continue. This is just. I muted myself.
Oh, take having it.
These
Oh,
landfill
boy.
games. Ugh.
Oh boy.
Well, it's not so much. Okay, I'm just gonna explain the mechanics. Basically, you tap on the screen, and that makes the bird fly. So, like, the bird, if you don't do anything, the bird just falls out of the sky and just like land and crashes on the ground. And so every time you tap, it does sort of a little. It's like a double jump. You know, it's like jumping up in the air. Although I guess because it's a bird, they have wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's and then what you're supposed to do is fly between. Yeah, essentially you're just flying, and you don't want to hit any obstacles. And the obstacles are all like Mario style pipes, and there'll be one coming from the top and one coming from the bottom, and they're stationary, and you just have to fly through the gap in between, and then the gap changes height, and then you just tap and don't hit any of the pipes. It's extremely simple, and it's endless. I think what people are going to be calling it now is the endless tapper, because now there's a ton of copycats essentially, with different characters and different balancing, but it's all like you tap on the screen and avoid obstacles, and that's what you do. And I don't know, part of that, like, after making my own clone and just thinking about it, I was like, oh, like, game mechanics, like, I don't think anyone thought of this game mechanic. Everyone's been making like the endless runner games, and then what was the first one? Temple Run or Cannibalt or whatever. Yeah, like once the first person made the first one, then hundreds of other people made the same thing. And then like the match 3 games, it was like there's hundreds of those. And just like the fact that Flappy Bird could come out and be such an easy and simple mechanic, like when you see it, it's so obvious, and yet no one had done it yet. It was like, oh, that is eye-opening, that even though everyone is trying to make the next big game on the App Store, and there's millions of them, that someone could come out with something really simple and be something that no one else had seen before, really. It's like, And I think part of like seeing that and making the clone spurred me on. I think once I found the cheap PS2 games, like, I want to see what mechanics people came up with back in the day, and that were unique, like no one else had done it. And then so
second.
No, they're just like, they're time wasters, essentially.
He for anyone who doesn't understand what's going on, Tekken's like typing in the chat and being all Tekken-y about these games. So. Oh, God, he's being ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Continue, Tropical.
I don't know. Like, I think good ideas can come from everywhere, and eventually this. Sorry.
Tekken, would you stop? Seriously. I'm gonna put you in timeout or something if you keep this up.
Fine, I'll stop. Continue on. Simple games, blah blah blah. Eye-opening, blah blah blah.
Gosh.
No, it's not Flappy Bird that was interesting. It's like what happened around it, and just like,
I don't know, Tropical. Every time this happens, it's just, to me, is like it's another situation where it's like that microcosm of Angry Birds, and I just could not escape. And then I played the game, and I was like, what the F is this crap? All you do is fling a bird from one side screen to the other. You people are. I'm not even gonna say. I don't even know what I was thinking, but it was just like, I can't even put into words, Tropical. It was just so agonizing. The pain I felt of just you people for
what is-
pleasure from this simple little. I'm not even going to call it that because that's not what it is. This thing that you just do with your hands is just like, look how fun I'm having. What's a dollar? Oh yeah. Ah.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying right now is like I got pleasure from making a game, and it happened to be this really simple one that no one likes, or some people really like. I don't know. I don't know why people play it. I think they're playing it because they've heard how bad it is.
Actually, it's funny, Tropical, because
so
there
it's
was an
curiosity.
article. I didn't read it, but like the headline totally made sense to me when I saw it. It was like, Flappy Bird proves why. It was on Polygon. It was like Bird proves why gamers don't know what other gamers are looking for or something, or like why developers don't know what gamers are looking for or something, and like why it was so successful and whatnot. Even though it was so, like you were saying, like it was so simple, and nobody knew what it was, and it just came out of nowhere and just blew up, and people were just talking about stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like, you don't know what is gonna suddenly blow up. And the article that I read that I thought was really interesting was it was talking about the aftermath. So after Flappy Bird blew up, and the thing that really blew it up, I think, for developers was that article about $50,000 a day, and suddenly everyone's like, "I need me some $50,000 a day," and they all went, and he described it as a pattern. Like everyone is looking for the pattern to make, Minecraft money or Angry Birds money, and they don't know how. Like, but there's this desire to have that simple solution. It's like, oh, if I make a Flappy Bird 2, then I will make $50,000 a day. And so right now, everyone is chasing Flappy Bird's $50,000 a day by making Flappy Bird because they think, like, they don't understand why it happened. They think it's because it was that game, but it's not because it was that game. It's because, I mean, there's lots of games out there that are probably okay, and probably better than Flappy Bird, but none of those became the game that blew up. This one did, and it's a mystery. But it was cool because it was something. It was like this new mechanic that it's not one of the top mechanics right now. Maybe it's not a new mechanic, but it's not one of the top ones, and it stole the show, and it was just like, that's crazy. So it's just, that's why I've been going again and again to different GameStops to like get as many PS2 games as I can find, because like these were obscure, and we call them failures because they didn't sell, not because they were designed poorly. Most of the time it's because they didn't sell and no one played them. So it's like, so I'm wondering, is like, is there anything in these games that was, if it's different when the game is free, right? Like Flappy Bird, if Flappy Bird costs $60, no one would be talking about it right now, except by saying Flappy Bird is $60. That's insane, and then that's it. It would be gone. But because it was free, like, people will check out a bad free game because it's free.
That makes perfect sense, Tropical. I'm on board with you there.
And so that's what I'm doing with the PS2 games. It's like, I don't really care that this got a 6. I'm just interested in seeing, like, whoa, okay, so why was that? And like, what was there anything that wasn't terrible? I mean, it got a 6 and not a 0. So what is the 6 points that it got and the 4 points that it missed?
I don't know.
When you put it that way, it's different. And yeah, so it's just like, I think this sort of, I'm hesitant to call it dumpster diving, but it feels like dumpster diving. This PS2 dumpster diving is that part of it is that I just want to see, is like, well, now it's cheap enough for me to see, to check out even the bad games, because like, yeah, maybe there's something in there, maybe. I think initially with the Life NBA 08, it was like, well, there are very few sports games with story modes. So I'm interested in seeing what they did with that here. I think one of the Fight Nights had it recently. But yeah,
that
beyond
one game I
that,
played. You talked about it.
beyond that, it's just like there aren't very many sports games with story modes, and that's I don't know. That's kind of strange, isn't it? Like it's a game. We
See,
can make
Tropical,
it
I think
any
the thing
way
is
we
though,
want.
it's like from the people making those games, it's like from like the monetary perspective of like, okay, how am I gonna make a profit off this? It's like, it's gonna cost more resources to put money into like the story mode, yada yada yada, what have you, versus just regurgitating the same product year after year, where it's like, oh, what can we do this year differently or better, or just go down the list of bean counters and be like, oh, let me just, let's do a bit more AI here, a bit better graphics here, little features here. They probably just don't like see the payoff
Yeah.
of like adding story features or whatever that would like, be appealing to group B that doesn't play this game, as opposed to just getting all of group A that will always come back every year to buy the game again, even if it's not that great. I.e.
So
Madden Call of Duty.
Yeah. But I think like with the way that people are describing this as sort of a gaming renaissance, like I feel like there's if people see it and they just think, oh, I can't make a basketball game because 2K owns the license, or I can't make a football game because EA owns the license. I don't think that's true.
I agree.
think there is a lot
I
of
think it's a
space.
lot like when we talked about like Mag and what's the other game? The robot one from Xbox One.
Titanfall.
Yes, that. Like, there's still space within the genre to like do new.
Did you really
things.
just forget
Yeah.
what Titanfall was?
Yeah, I forgot.
That was
I don't
great.
care about that.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Like the one I was thinking about yesterday was like, did you ever watch Slam Dunk? I don't know if that was big here in the US.
Is that an
I
anime?
don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was an anime.
I don't think I watched it.
It was, man, in Taiwan, like every kid wanted to play basketball because of Slam Dunk. It was just
That
the
is
comic
awesome.
was hilarious, and yet it felt very you know how like Naruto, one of the themes is like work hard, and like you can achieve anything if you work hard.
Yeah.
Unless
and, like-
you're everybody else that's not Naruto.
That's why he has to. That's why the player has to be proven to him RPG, so you can learn along with him.
But like Slam Dunk was kind of like that. Like everyone read that and was like, oh man, I want to play basketball. And it's sort of like it taught you how to shoot, like the right form, and just like, all these things. And it inspired, I think, an entire generation or two of kids to play basketball in Taiwan. And just like you could make a game like that. It would have story and it would have sort of basketball mechanics. And it doesn't like.
I was gonna say this, like, it's not exactly 1-to-1, but there is like that Chaos Dunk game. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Streets of Rage, Shut Up and Jam, something really bad title. It's like
Really?
an indie. It's like an indie JRPG, and you play as Charles Barkley or something, and like you go through and like
Oh yeah.
that one, the Chaos Dunk game. It's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh. What the hell?
RPG, you'd love it. Well,
What
probably
is-
once you know like the classical style of RPG
is going on
gameplay,
with
but
this?
it might be up your alley if you're.
This sounds ridiculous. is what it sounds.
Oh, it is.
I want to play as Charles Barkley.
No, you don't.
I wanna be
Stop it.
like ya.
Stop what you're doing right now. Stop doing what you're
Technically,
doing.
you made me think of that Nintendo basketball game that came out on the DS or something like years ago. That they like, it was completely weird and different, but it was like still a like sports basketball game.
Mm.
So you could still like, because like in my brain, I'm not going to say what it is, but I've like had some idea like bubbling up that I've wanted to do for a long time, like as far as like games or like a basketball themed game. But yeah,
Yeah,
until I make it, I'll keep it a secret.
There's just I feel like there's a ton of opportunity, even in the genre that everyone thinks are just played out. There is room for innovation, and yeah. I think that's what I was thinking when I got all the game day games. I was just like, well, we haven't seen anyone else make football in like a decade. What would that be like? Backbreaker was something, but that was all about selling their technology. And the other ones are just like, oh, we'll just make arcadey football games, and that way we can still use the license. Or no, that's not true. the basketball is like that. Anyway, yeah, long spiel. PS2 was awesome, and I'm hoping PS4 is gonna be like that as well.
Like, to make a long story longer.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'll just briefly touch on the other things. Battlefield 4, the other modes are actually really cool. I had this insanely long losing streak on Domination, which is, I don't know if like I had sunk into the Battlefield 4 or Battlefield style of like playing, so I wasn't moving fast enough or whatever. But it felt way harder than Call of Duty, which I don't think I've ever lost that many dominations in a row in Call of Duty. But yeah, Battlefield, I lost, I think it was 15 of them before I won. I just wanted to win one.
Man, way to suck, Tropical. Way to
It was
suck.
it was terrible. Like we were playing and we would be winning and then we'd lose every round. It's like, what is happening? So
Maybe
bad.
the other team was like hustling you or something.
Finally, I got to be squad leader, and so I started like setting which ones we should attack, and then that was like the last 3 losses, and then finally we won one. I was like, yes, I am not playing this anymore. My God,
It's like I got what I wanted. Now to never play this game again.
messed up. Oh, and also I got to try a commander mode, which I thought was only available through iPad, but actually you can go into the menus. And, like everything in Battlefield is hidden in the menus. In the pause menu, you can go into team setup and then go to commander mode and just like take command of the team.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. Anybody could use it.
I actually, well, you have to be above rank 10,
Okay, I was about to say,
and
you
it
should
took
be
me
leveled
about
up.
20 hours to get to rank 10.
Only
So-
20 hours? Huh.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's not a long time at all.
It's like a day,
And then-
you know.
So
Well, yeah, if you play it straight, but I mean, if you're like playing like a normal person in Tekken, it'd be several days.
Played like normal people is overrated.
it was really cool because the way that it works, I was playing Conquest, and I don't know if Commander is supported in the other modes, but in Conquest, so on the PS4 version, there'll be like 5 or 6 different capture points, and then apparently like, so for example, capture point D will give the commander the ability to call in a gunship, and if you lose that one, then you can't call in gunships. And so you have like lots of control. You can direct each squad leader to capture certain points, and then they're supposed to use their command thing and tell their squad to go capture that point. And then you can like call in gunships, you can call in drones to like locate enemy infantry, and just there's a ton of options. And yeah, it was really cool. And so I don't know how much of the shooting I'm going to play anymore because commander mode is awesome. I just wish it was on like a tablet that I have, because it's sort of hard to manipulate with the controller. Other than that,
How many tablets do you have?
one,
Oh,
but it's an
well,
Android one, and
That's
they don't
okay.
have an Android yet.
It's for the best. No one does
No,
Apple
I want to
things
tap
anymore.
my controls.
Why don't you just get a Wii U or something?
So,
Sheesh.
like, I was impressed that commander mode has its own sort of mechanics. Like, you're not just telling people, "Oh, go here, go here, go here," and I'll just sit back while you win it for me. It's like, oh, if you guys capture this point, then I'll be able to do this stuff to help us win the battle. And then like there's like 2 mechanics. There's the UAV essentially, and then there's like an EMP UAV. And so what it does is the UAV locates enemy troops for your troops on the ground, but only in a small radius. So you choose where to deploy it, and then you deploy it. And then you can use the EMP UAV to fly over an area. And what that does is it masks all of your troops in that area. also a small radius, and you can see where the enemy commander has placed these things as well. So you could do things like you'll see a UAV over an area, and it's like, oh man, like my troops are going to capture that point right now. So you put up your EMP UAV, and then it just cancels everything out, and then they sort of have to fight it out on their own. And you and the other commander are like jockeying for these points that, for example, like the gunship, like you want that, so you're telling your guys to go there, and he's telling his guys to go there, and they're fighting it out, and whoever gets it, gets the gunship. And it's like there's actually, mechanics and like competition even for the commanders. It's like,
that sounds like something I would enjoy.
It's really neat. I was impressed.
That does sound interesting.
So yeah, that's Battlefield 4.
So is that stuff you just talked about? Is that only on the PS4 and Xbox One and PC versions of the game? With like the tablet and interface.
I think there is a commander mode in PS3 one also, because I remember being controlled by a commander, or not controlled, but like commanded
Being controlled
by a commander
hijacked.
when I was playing the PS3 version as well. But I haven't checked it out yet. I'm not ranked 10 on PS3, so I don't know.
Did you just abandon your PS3? Is that what it is? Oh, because
No,
you got something new and shiny.
Player Appreciation Month. I've been logging into both systems every day to get my free battle packs, which has been pretty exciting because, man, there's a lot of things to unlock. Which reminds me, I have to do that for PS3 today. And then, so yeah, that's Battlefield 4. Then I got an import game, Gundam Extreme.
I love how you forgot to.
Full
Because it's so many. Just pick a bunch of random words. I'm pretty sure there might be in the title anyway.
Gundam, yada yada yada, Full Burst Extreme versus. That sounds good.
Sad thing is, all of those words really are in the title. In case anyone's wondering.
It is. It's pretty cool. It plays. It feels kind of like Virtual On. Because you're. I mean, obviously you're playing Gundams, and there's a lot of Gundams in the game from numerous different series. And then.
Which series?
All of them RPG.
Is it all of them?
All the Gundams in all the world.
Oh my goodness! It's okay. I only like the one
First
series.
one, G, Wing, Zeta, Double Zeta, 8th MS Team,
Yeah, I think I like G Gundam.
Seed,
The rest of them are all
Turn A,
and SD,
X,
the adorable ones. I like those. They're like
the
little micro machines.
Unicorn,
I mean, that's what they are. The SD ones. Did you ever see that?
They're not micro machines.
I mean, they might as well.
They're
look
just
like-
chibi style.
and they were adorable. So I mean, either way.
I can't remember. Were Micro Machines like? Did they have weird proportions, like SD proportions, or were
I think
they?
they're just super small cars.
They were just like
They were
mini,
just like
Like
small,
they were
right?
straight down.
they're just mini versions of. They didn't. The SD ones didn't have weird proportions. I mean, they were
SD
scaled.
Gundam proportions.
They were like mini Gundams.
Oh, they have like big heads.
They're all adorable.
They're
It's
like 3 to 1, head
they were
to
not
body
3
to head. Yeah.
It was probably
Gundam.
more like 1.5 to 1 or something.
Actually, yeah, that's probably true. But anyway, yeah, it plays like Virtual On in that it's a 3D arena and you dash around a lot and you shoot different weapons. The only difference, control-wise, is that Virtual On used like the 2 joysticks, and then this game, which I'm just gonna call it the Gundam game, Gundam Virtual On, is it has traditional controls, so it's not as crazy, and it's all 2-on-2, and yeah, it's quite fun, but it's apparently it's an arcade game, like it's in arcades in Japan, so when you play it, it is very arcade style. It's like playing through Street Fighter. There is no resolution or anything at the end. It's just like, yay, you beat the end boss. Credits roll, game over, and then it goes back to the title screen. It's like, oh, that's a little disappointing, but at least the mech combat was really fun. The weird part, though, it came with another game. It came with the free-to-play Gundam game called Operation
Meteor.
No, that's the wing one. Operation something.
Colony.
Sorry, I
Golf.
can't remember. It's a
Oh,
free-to-play
God.
Gundam game in which you can play as the pilot on the ground, or you can play as Gundams walking around.
Now, why would you want to play as a pilot when you can play as a giant fucking robot mech thing? Oh my gosh, why is that even an option?
I'm not sure. I was only able to find one game. Like, I guess not many people are playing it on the servers that are running it in the Asia region. But yeah, like when you're running around as the pilot, you have a rocket launcher and a rifle, and the rifle does nothing to the mechs.
Well, obviously, it's a rifle. What the hell?
But they don't seem to notice you because I guess maybe you're really, really small. Yeah, I don't know. But I did shoot down another pilot. Like I was playing as the Gundam. I was like, man, I don't know how to play as the mechs. So I switched to pilot, and then I was just running around. I was like, I'm so tiny, and there's giant mechs running around me. And then I saw another guy running around as a pilot, shooting rockets at one of my allies. I was like, oh, and I shot him with my rifle, and he died. And it's like, yay, I did something.
And I helped.
So yeah, there's that. But it was weird. He was like, oh, Titanfall beta is coming soon. It's like, huh, that is also a game in which you play pilots running around with giant mechs as well.
Which, why would you ever run around as a pilot? Seriously. It's like Warhawk. Why are you not in a vehicle? What is wrong with you? You're doing it wrong.
I loved hiding in the trees and shooting missiles at Warhawks. Because not everyone was good at dodging them.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I did enjoy flying around in those things. More games should have stuff like that.
RPG back on the PS2 era. There were many more games and types of games.
Well, I mean,
There's this magical game where you flew around in a ship.
is it story time?
It was called Skygunner, and it was by Atlas. Okay. So yeah, sorry. Continue your article.
Well, that's all I've been playing.
Oh well.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's mostly my PS2 adventure was the thing I was dying to talk about because it was very exciting for me, and it continues tomorrow. Tomorrow I will look for more. I'm hoping to find some hidden gems. Like, is there anything I should be on the lookout for?
Do you have a list article? That would be my plan of attack. Is just to make a list because that just makes it
And
easier.
check it twice.
Oh, but I'm not looking like
Oh.
I'm not looking for specific
Then I
games.
can't help you, Tropical. Sorry. Then I guess you'll know it when you see it. You'll be looking at it and be like, "Ooh, this one."
Well, it depends. What type of games are you looking for?
Doesn't matter. Just like
Because I
anything
mean,
you
the
thought.
Suikoden series is
Man, if I could find
good,
that,
but if you can
that would
actually
be
find one of them, then good luck with that.
insane. That would be insane.
Because I think the only one I don't have a physical copy of is the first one.
You have two, really?
I think so.
Wow.
Because I have all of them,
Except
except for
for to come to PS1 Classics on the PSN store. Just saying.
Yesterday I was looking in my basement and I found out that I thought I didn't have it, but apparently I have Rogue Galaxy and it is sealed in its box.
Really?
I have sealed copies of some
That is
games I was
ridiculous.
looking at picking up, and they were really expensive. I'll never find. And then I looked downstairs like, holy crap, I have this game.
You're disappointed.
But now I'm afraid to open it.
Actually, Tropical, it's funny you say that because I had some videos up of Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I finished my playthrough, and someone commented of like, oh, how'd you get the gameplay for the GameCube version? And I was like, oh, I played it on my Wii. And he's like, oh, did you look at the prices of the N64 version? They go for the same prices. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I didn't even know you could I could just sell my copy. But I'm not gonna sell my copy.
Don't do it. Don't do
Oh.
it.
Absurd amount of money. Or maybe in like some other country that seems like where they're from. They have like the best English ever. So you never know.
The best thing about Rogue Galaxies, bug fighting. You're welcome.
I always wanted to play that game. I like the demo.
Get in on that.
I just never got around to getting it.
Yeah, I found the demo earlier, and I was like, oh, I just have the demo to this game, right? And then, no,
Sealed
apparently I
copy.
have it. I have a sealed copy.
Tropical.
So yeah, like the
Disappointing.
question is, I guess I'm not a collector, so I don't care about that. But it feels weird because you look at it, it's like, wow, these are really expensive online. But if I just want to play it, I should just open this, right? And Yeah, it's strange. Holy cow, $70 Rogue Galaxy.
Ugh, that kills me. See, it's like thinking about
Dark.
it now. I don't think if there ever was a time where I was like, oh man, there's not enough games coming out. Like it seemed like PS2, there's always something coming out I was looking forward to, or just like there's always something I wanted to play that I just didn't have the time, or just didn't have the money, or just couldn't play it. So there's
Yeah,
always something.
I felt like there was a lot more stuff, and now that I'm looking at it, it's like there was also a lot more variety.
Yep.
PS4 better be like that, and hopefully it's
better
not
be.
all digital. I mean, I guess it makes sense economically, but I don't know. There is still something about physical. Maybe they could do limited releases or something like that. Everyone go Atlas style. Oh my gosh. That would be bad.
But everyone doesn't
Everyone
love
would
their
win.
fans like
Everybody would make
Atlas.
money and be like, oh, listen to our fans, and you guys wanted this, so here you go, and then yeah, it would be like rebuilding the rapport that had been lost in the last 10 years.
Oh, actually, do you remember which one was the first Wild Arms game on PS2?
PS3.
It
Was
was
3?
3. Yeah. Because 1 and 2 were PlayStation titles.
I will look out for that one.
And then Alter Code F was the remake for the first one. It's on the PS2 as well.
Oh, and then Jedi's Starfighter, was that a series or was there just one?
There's Starfighter before that one. It was I think it might have been a launch game. At least for Xbox, the Duke. It was a launch game.
The Duke. It's like
So
royalty.
I remember I always wanted to play it, and I finally got it. And it was like, it wasn't that. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like the best ever. So I was like, it was okay.
Uh,
But Jedi Starfighter is pretty good. It was pretty fun. But then it kind of didn't make sense because it's like, how am I using my force powers if I'm in a ship? But whatever, it's a game. It's a video game.
oh wait, yeah, I do remember that one.
You can, like,
do I
slow
have
down
that one?
time and fire really fast.
I don't know if I have
And
that
use
one.
lightning even though you're a Jedi, but whatever.
But technically, aren't they supposed to be able to use it anyway? They just don't?
It's a
Is
dark
that
side
how
power.
that works?
It's a dark side power.
So you have to... What if you just say you're on the dark side?
Doesn't
Does
work
that
like an
automatically-
RPG. Doesn't
Oh,
work
it
like
doesn't?
That.
That's not how it works.
You
Can't
sign up
confuse.
for the dark side.
Can't be like, oh, I'm just gonna
so-
walk around and force choke people, even though I'm a good guy. I'm a totally good guy doing this.
Wait, so then what benefits are there to being a Jedi then? They can't do any of the cool stuff. What's the point?
They're supposed to protect the Order and the Republic RPG. They're not supposed to be like, you know.
I
bad
mean,
to
all
get
I
out
hear
of that
is,
stuff.
I can't force choke people. It's all right now. So, I don't know what to tell
Well, I
you.
mean, during like the heyday, or I think even in the beginning, wasn't it? Like Sith, there's only 2 Sith
Yeah,
ever.
yeah. There's the rule of two.
So like you couldn't get into the exclusive Sith club.
That is
That's why you joined the Jedi.
like, fine. I can't be one of the cool kids. I'll just join.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
guys.
would you rather have Jedi force powers or no force powers? Because all Sith positions are
Oh,
taken.
cool. Like, that's how that works.
Well, I mean, when you're faced with a decision like that, I guess you choose the Jedi one. But I mean, what can they do though? They can't shoot lightning or telekinesis people's necks and stuff. What's the point?
Push.
What do they actually
You can
do? What can they do?
Push.
They can push you.
Yep.
It's-
Really?
It can push two
From,
triangle.
from across
That's
the
their power?
room. And
the bad guys
lightsabers.
do that too.
You know, usually people are all for the lightsabers.
Can't the bad guys use lightsabers too?
Yeah, but there's only 2 of them.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's pretty unbalanced here. You have one side shooting lightning and basically taking out people's heads with their minds, and then you have the other guys with glowing knives. I don't see the balance here.
Anyways.
Oh, yeah, I would continue on, but you know, yeah, we have a podcast recording RPG.
I'm just saying.
So would you like to go next to what you've been playing?
I guess. So, first up, I started playing Tokiden Age of Demons. I only played it briefly because I had other games that I wanted to play. So, you get to transfer all your data from the demo that they released, which is great. So then you don't have to go through all those tutorial missions and stuff again. So that was a nice little bonus. So I only like did a couple of online matches and like one story match or something, so I could just finish up that last phase thingy that they cut you off in the demo. So that's pretty much it for that. Other than that, I picked up Bravely Default, which is really it's basically like an old school Final Fantasy game. If you're like familiar with crap, what was that DS one called?
Where's the light?
That one, yes. I was like, God, I know it has something to do with lights. That one. That one. It's kind of similar in style to that one with the whole jobs and the turn-based and all that jazz, except you can, brave and default. So that's a thing. Most of my time.
Wait, so I'm curious, like, what does the default mean? Like, is that a skill, or does that just mean you don't pay the shopkeeper?
It's a skill.
Oh,
When you default, well, not like a skill. It's a part of the menu thing. Like when you default, it's basically the guard option, but it kind of like gives you a brave point, and you can get up to 3 of them, and then you can brave, or I mean, you could technically brave anytime, but like let's see how you explain this here. Okay. Okay. Let's start over. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So in battle, right? You have your classes. They have their abilities and all that stuff, and then you can brave and default. Braving allows you to take an extra turn, so to speak. So it's like you can do up to 4 braves at a time, which lets you do like consecutive attacks. But each one takes a brave point, and if you're in the negative, you have to wait until you get back to 0 before you can actually go have another turn. But if you default, it like gives you brave points, and you can stack up to 3, so that'll let you do 4 consecutive attacks, and then you'll still be able to get your turn the next time it comes around, instead of having to wait the whole period or something. But the enemies can do that too, so
So it's like
not
charging up, sort of.
essentially. It's like similar to kind of like the Xenosaga stock thing.
Ew, I didn't really like that. The boosting.
It's kind of like that, except not exactly.
Did Chrono Cross have something like that?
It did not.
Okay,
Not in that.
remembering that.
Oh, that's a game on my list after I play through the Witcher series. Is Chrono Cross. I'm gonna go like old, new, old, but I'm starting off with new with the Witcher after Bioshock. But I haven't played it. Sorry.
Witcher 1?
Yeah, I'm gonna play the 1 and 2 so I can be ready for 3. And
Okay.
then Chrono Cross. Because I love Chrono Trigger, so I'm like, okay, Chrono Cross. It's like everybody says it's really good.
Wait,
and
you never
everybody
played
said-
Chrono
everybody said
Cross
it's-
before?
Nope.
Oh my
I know
If I had a table to flip over, I would. Don't.
I guess I shouldn't say anything, but you.
Oh my gosh. Where's my
Given
table?
history.
It seems like it is an enjoyable game. It's kind of all over the place though, so be prepared to have your mind screwed. But
Ouch.
no, and it's not gonna even have time to put on makeup. Just gonna bend it over and be like, haha, take it, mine, take it. So, yeah. But anyways, back to Bravely Default. So the game, I mean, I haven't like gotten too far because most of my time has been spent like rebuilding the town, and I pretty much just like assign villagers and stuff, and then put my DS on sleep mode and go do stuff. So I have not gotten very far in the game, and I only have like, because I just got to like my first side quest. So I just got like the merchant class and the thief class, which I like that the merchant class looks all fancy and everything with their top hats and diamond rings and canes and crap. I'm like, this is all ridiculous, but it's a Final Fantasy game, so what do you expect? But it's really like old school. So I mean, if people like, for people who've all been all upset with like the newer Final Fantasy titles because they've kind of jumped more into like sci-fi modern-y kind of stuff, and they're more fast-paced and everything. This game will probably be more for the people who are like, we want my old Final Fantasy back kind of thing. So I'm kind of like, whatever's kind of thing. So I haven't like really been like I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Immersed into it like other people, I guess, because it not only is it pretty old school, but it's pretty like the story's pretty seems like it's starting out pretty cliche too. So it's like eh,
So
eh.
like amnesia and
Well, one of the
gotta save
characters
the world.
basically, well, one of the characters has amnesia, but he has like a magic diary that predicts the future or something. And the other, like the main character girl
That's
that you have,
ironic.
I know, right? It's like, so,
I know nothing about my past, but I know everything that's gonna happen.
that's pretty much how he introduces himself because he's like, I don't know anything, but this book tells me that you're this guy and you're this guy, and it's like, well, that's rude. Can't be all using future knowledge for stuff because that's how they get out of some of. Oh, and apparently, 'cause, like even like during one of the, there's like a moment in the game where they're on like an airship that's about to crash, and then he like reads the book and he's like, oh, apparently I'm an ace pilot, and then he starts flying. Like really, really. So
Wait, so it does tell him about the past, sort of.
kind of because well no I think because the passage in the book pretty much says that he just starts I guess like he starts what the hell's the thing called piloting the ship or something because he like asks Anya, she's like what's the name of this, or not Anya, he asks Adia, he's like, what's the name of this ship, and she's like, really, at a time like this? And he's like, just is it, and then he starts reading out of the book and she's like, yeah, that's the name of it, and he's like, oh, so then he just takes control of the ship and he's like, oh, this is how this works. It's like, apparently I'm an ace pilot, and it's like, oh well, that's all kinds of convenient because that's a thing. So I'm not.
That's a paradox.
I know, it's like, huh, weird. Because apparently the book told him that he was the one who was going to save them from that crash because he could pilot the ship, even though he doesn't have memories of how to drive an airship. So, yeah, that's a thing. But, yeah, and the main character chick, she's like some guardian of a crystal thing. Some priestess chick.
Characters like, let's just throw all our cliches into this one and have it be the old one because they'll all like it. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened because
Oh, yeah.
everyone's all clamoring about it's like, oh, Bravely Default's the best game ever. It's not, but I mean, whatever. To each their own, and they're all whatevers. So, yeah. So basically, like I said, most of my time has pretty much been spent. I'll like every morning I'll just do like the net friends thing, and I'll just find random people online to add to the village, and then I'll just set up the villagers onto the shops to rebuild stuff, and then put my DS in sleep mode. So that's pretty much how that's been going. As a matter of fact, I need to check on them now, see what they're up to. And
Villagers.
so then yeah, and then basically while they're doing that, you can just do other stuff like quests and stuff and get classes and save the world because the crystals are being engulfed in darkness and the chick has to pray at them and all this stuff and other stuff I don't care about and all that jazz. So yeah, that's Bravely Default for you. You're all welcome. Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
Well, no, they just finished. One of them just finished one of the shops. I just want to get them on something else real quick. Then, alrighty.
Can't do that if Flappy Bird just saying.
you cannot. That is a thing. Oh, and another benefit of the sleep mode in this game is like you get SP from, you can get up to like 3 SP points or something, and it lets you like freeze time in battles for like 3 turns or whatever for one character, so they can do like stuff to enemies. So that's a thing too. But you get like 1 point for every 8 hours your DS mode is in sleep. So I'm like constantly at 3 points for that. So yeah, that's a thing. But that is pretty much it on that game. I picked up Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, or yeah, it's something like that. For the Vita, it's from the people that made 999 and Virtue's Last Reward. So I was expecting it to be more of a visual novel type game, but it's actually more of an adventure type game, and it's kind of like uh, hmm, best way to describe this. It's like Persona meets Ace Attorney meets Virtue's Last Reward with the light shooter elements, and then just mixed all up together into one game, and then you have this kind of, and the way the story works is these high school students who are apparently like the best at what they do are all invited to this prestigious high school academy thing where people are guaranteed success upon graduating, and these people range from like you have like normal students who are supposed to be like the super duper high school swimmer and the super duper high school baseball player up to like the super duper high school serial killer and super high school fortune teller and stuff. And so it's like a random mix of like different things that they're quote unquote best at, and all these people they get up into the school only to find out they're trapped in there for the rest of their lives, and their headmaster is like this sentient, possibly robotic teddy bear that tells them that the only way to graduate is by killing someone and getting away with it. So at first they're all like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So he's like, oh well, I'll fix that real quick, and he starts doing this thing where he gives them motives. And the first time it's like a video of stuff that's going on in the outside world, like their families and how everything's falling apart because they're stuck in there and they refuse to try to get out by killing people. So then a murder occurs after that. And then the next motive, he does this thing where he's like, he'll reveal like one of their embarrassing secrets or something. And then someone ends up killing somebody after that because they're like, oh, I don't want people to find out about all my crap I did and all this stuff. So it causes all kinds of crazy shenanigans going on in there. And, during the daytime when people aren't getting killed, you can like spend time with each of the students, and it gives you like different skills that you can use for the class trials later on. So like certain things would like increase your focus gauge or like get rid of white noise and stuff and all this jazz, and I'll explain that stuff later once I get to that portion. But and once a murder does occur, you go through like investigation mode where you have to examine the scenes of the crime, and you have to look for clues and everything, and it gives you truth bullets that you use, or that they're used as evidence for the trials later. And once you've gathered all the evidence and all that stuff, you start the class trials, which are broken up into phases, where you have the nonstop debates, the hangman gambits, closing arguments, and then the bullet time battles. And the main portion of it is the nonstop debates is where all the classmates are just talking one after another, and you're supposed to try to find weak points in their statements and shoot them with the truth bullets. And then if you do it successfully, you'll break their argument, and then it'll start the whole dialogue, and you'll learn different stuff about the cases and everything. And during this portion, there'll sometimes be like white noise, as they call it, where there's like random statements flashing across the screen while the characters are talking, and you have to kind of like shoot them down so you can actually get to the statements to shoot them to continue the trial. And then the hangman's gambit part is when the main character who you play as is he'll like start, or there'll be like an important phrase he has to come up with to progress the trial, and you do it by shooting down letters to spell out the word he's looking for, and then it'll give you the trial for that. And then also during the trials, you'll be able to present evidence and all this other stuff and going on. And then once you get through that, you have the closing arguments, which is where you piece together the crime as it happens, and it's done like comic book style. And then once it's done, it's reenacted, and it kind of like goes through what actually happened, and then you identify the person who committed the crime. And then sometimes it goes into a bullet time battle, which is like a rhythm mini game where you're like the person that you're accusing starts I guess they're like trying to like fight back against it and everything, so you have to lock onto their statements and then like destroy them all to do damage to them, and then you shoot them with the final bullet, and it kind of like causing them to break down, and then they lose and all this stuff. And then after all of this, you get treated to a little cutscene where the person who did the crime gets executed, and it's done in like this kind of like this pop-up book, like Tim Burton style cutscene thing. So you get like one of the first guy gets pelted to death by baseballs, and then the next one gets electrocuted in a cage of death with the motorcycle thing going on. So it's all kinds of, and the game thankfully is stylized, because otherwise it'd probably be pretty graphic, because you do get to see like the dead bodies from the people who, or from the kids that get killed and everything, but the blood's like neon pink colored, so it's totally okay and everything. So that's always fun, because even one of the students gets like impaled with like a bunch of spears, but since it's all done cartoon style, it's okay. So it's not horribly graphic or anything, so it can keep its M rating and not sold because of it. So yeah, but that's pretty much how that game works mostly, and that's all I've been playing, really, and stuff.
Okay. Alrighty, so I guess I can go with what I've been playing. I'll start with Archlad 2. This game, I'm almost done with this game. Like, I got to what I thought was the final dungeon. I don't know if it is. I'm pretty sure it is. And then I couldn't find a spot to save. And I really needed to save. I really needed to save because I needed to play Final Fantasy Tactics, because I was making some videos. And then it's like, you know, I got to like a boss that was very hard, and I think it's the final boss. And it's like, I cannot kill him. And I'm like, no, this is not happening. So it's like, I could, not only was I in the final dungeon, and all throughout the final dungeon there was no save point, I got to the end of the thingy, and it's like all this stuff's happening, and it's like, oh, this must be the last dude because he's super hard and I can't kill him. And it's like, I had to run through the whole dungeon all over again, and I don't know if I can beat him. And it's starting to get to me, and I don't know if I'm going to finish this game, and I don't know. I really wanted to like this game. I did enjoy this game, but it's getting to the point where it's just.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying, RPG. The game should have ended like 10 hours ago, and then it's just I don't know. I'm trying. Okay, but whatever. It's like I don't want to get on the long list of games where it's like I get all the way to the end, I get all the way there, and it's just another JRPG I can't finish because I'm just not awesome enough, or I'm not strong enough, or whatever. But just yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Oh.
Besides that, also
On the bright side, at least there's no doors.
Shut up, RPG.
So there's that.
It's also blocking me from playing anything on Vita because I've been playing it on PSP, so I've really got to play my Vita stuff still. Besides that, like I said, Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions, still playing that, and I had a crazy session where I'm not gonna say I got stuck because I got past it, but I was stuck on a certain part where you get to at the end of chapter 3. Where it's like you are in Ryuvane's castle against Wygraph, one of the hardest bosses I will like say ever in existence, because it just dude just kills you in like 2 hits if you don't like know what you're doing. And so I'm like, okay, I got this. But then after you beat him in the first part, he transforms into something, and it's like, oh well, whatever. I got my backup with me, but I guess I wasn't high enough level, so it's like not doing enough damage, Triz, not doing enough damage taken, and then. I did that for like 3 hours, and I was like, you know, it's been a long night. It's been a long week. This must just not be my day. Must not be my time of the year for JRPGs, because they're just grinding me down. But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go grind and level up. It's just not gonna happen. So instead of just taking a break, I just kept playing, and then it was like 6 a.m. or something, and I was like, oh, fine, I'll go to bed. And I woke up, and I got past it super easy, and I was like, oh, well, I don't know what happened there, but I just changed a few things, and yeah. At the end of the day, I think it was just fatigue, because I was just like so focused on doing it a certain way, and if I would have just like not been stupid, which I was being stupid. Well, I wasn't being stupid, but I was just, yeah. Okay, fine, I'll say I was being stupid. I was being stupid. And then, and so I was like being very stubborn and not seeing other ways to get through something by using strategy, which is the name of the game. So that was just my dumb fault. But I have passed it, so it's cool. So I'm on my way to the end of the game because from here on out until like the final couple sequences of fights, it's all downhill from here. So it's super not terrible hard, especially once you get Zid because he totally is broken and kills everything. But besides that, still playing the Gran Turismos. Also playing that every day. It's interesting. Like I'm still on the daily schedule thing. It's still working, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this and just like rotate stuff in and out as I play through it. I'm thinking about doing a playthrough of a Tactics Ogre after this to see like if I can also do it in like a month because it's been like what? Well, I guess it wasn't a month, but like it's because I did like more than one video every day. I was like trying to do it every like 30 days, but whatever. Like I guess I'm not gonna finish it by then, but you know if I can like do that like pace up and like finish a game every month, that's like 12 games a year. So actually that's not a good pace, but at least it's progress. Or I guess for me anyway, because I have like so many. So 12 games a year is like nothing. But maybe it's more progress than I've been making though. So I don't know. I'd have to do the math. Anyway, Christmas 6. I don't think there's been any seasonal events, but I'm still playing it every day just to get more credits. And I did end up finally buying like one of those super expensive Ferraris to see if I could get first in this one race I'm stuck on, and I'm still having issues because the rain is just spin out city. Just I'll get it eventually. It's gonna take some time. Besides that, also Mass Effect, playing it every day. Yeah. So I just made progress with what did I do? Oh my, where's the picture? But I was using the Quarian Male Infiltrator, and I got the extractions I needed with him, and so that's one less class, and that finished the Rebellion tier, so I'm done with that one. And when I finished that one, it said like 15 out of 25, so I need 10 more, but that's gonna take. See, the thing is, I'm playing it every day, like I just said, so like I need 10 extractions for like 6 characters, so that's 60 extractions, which is 60 days, which is 2 months, so I'll be playing this game for 2 months straight and like have made little progress. Because that will just finish off like one of the thingies, and then I'll still need crap to do. But actually, I looked back on it again today, and I don't actually need all 6. I only need like 4, I think, 3 or 4. But whatever, it's like I don't need all of them. So after I'm done with the Infiltrator, I just need like 3 more or something, and then on to the next one. But still, it's like 40 days. So. Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I'm glad I'm only playing it like once a day 'cause I used to play it. I can see why, like, or I guess like it would have been nice if this stuff was there when it came out because I totally like have had like so much of it done as opposed to like now where it's like, fine, let me do this. I can do it. I can do it. Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah,
Can
stop
you
me.
truly outrageous?
I think I can because I'm so focused right now. It's like I got the momentum behind me. I'm over halfway there. It's like I'm making progress every day. It's just a matter when I get to the gold extraction or the gold. Actually, I don't even need extractions. I just need to clear waves. But it's like 200 waves or something crazy on each map on gold. It's just that's gonna be a problem. But we'll see. Besides that, have I been playing anything else? That might be it. That is it. So that's all I've been playing. Really? That's all I've been playing? Because that just seems... No, that's all I've been playing. Oh, wait. I forgot something. Hold on. The image didn't save or something. This stupid folder. I played some Payday 2 with Gamer on PS3 because it was free on Plus, but...
Oh, I totally would have played with you guys, but it took like forever to download that thing,
yeah,
so...
there's like a 5 gigabyte
didn't
patch
happen.
after you download the game, and I was like, what? And the game itself was 5 gigabytes. I was like, well, at first I was like, yeah, it's not gonna take that long to download. But then I went to go play, and it's like, downloading patch, 5 gigabytes. And I was like, dang it.
Like, what the hell?
And that was after I
So-
installed the game, which takes time too. So it's just like, dang it. So yeah, but we can have our aimless adventures on PS3 now because it's free on Plus. So we don't have to buy
It is. Yay!
And I got to level, I think, 9 or 10, so yay.
I'm on level 1. You're welcome.
Actually, not level 9. I have to check my PC version to see how far I am on that, to see if I'm, like, farther. We'll see.
I need to download the game.
Oh, you might want to get on top of that. It may take a while. I know.
free, Tropical. Free.
It is free.
Yeah, it's probably gonna mean freeing up some space and and then downloading. So yeah, not too bad.
Alrighty, so do we have any news this week?
Yeah, like this week, it was kind of crazy. Like it's head to head. So this morning the embargoes dropped for
Oh yeah, for Titanfall and for Infamous, right?
yeah, it's like within 2 hours of each other. And so Infamous Second Son impressions at a Sony event are starting to come out. It seems like the general feel I'm getting is that it looks really good, and
Well, of course it does.
feels really good. But the morality thing from the first two feels unevolved. So it's very much like the same. Very binary black and white. Well, I can turn her into a murderer, or I can use her and we can be like sidekicks and go take out bad guys. It's like,
I thought we agreed that we didn't want them to do that anymore.
yeah, hard to say. I mean, it was a very small section of the game that they got to play, but who knows? They're talking about they want to see how far they can push people. They talked about like a lot of people will decide, okay, I'm going to play the good path and then I'm going to play the bad path or something like that. And they're trying to make it so like when people play the good path, it's like, are you really going to be able to stick to that all the way through? And like the bad path, they're talking about things like, are you really going to have what it takes to stick to the bad path? Because
I would.
There's going to be really messed up stuff, apparently.
Joke would be on them, because it's like, ha ha, I might have destroyed the world, and it's your own fault. So
that's going to be pretty interesting, maybe. Yeah, I think
if they pull what they did with, like, Infamous 2, though, like, at the end where it, like, pretty much didn't even matter, and you're just like, oh, one decision pretty much just good or bad.
Like they also want to have that. So apparently their philosophy is that in addition to story, they want the gameplay to be greatly affected by whether you're good or bad. And so like when you go really good, you have much more precision type weapons, and when you're really bad, you have lots of sort of collateral whatever. And so, and then
for the win.
Like it gets apparently really, really crazy powerful stuff, and they say that they really amped up the powers as you get more powerful. And so there's no like when you play the gray path, you don't really get to see anything cool because it's just like your powers don't become really outrageous in any direction.
Wait, how does the power thing work in there with the whole him? Is he like a mimic, or is it just stealing people's powers or something?
Nah, he doesn't take them. Yeah, I guess he's like he's sort of like Peter Petrelli on Heroes.
Yeah, that guy sucked.
Where he accumulates, like the way that it works in game is your powers are whatever source you last absorbed. So if you absorb smoke, then you have smoke powers. And if you absorb neon, then you have neon powers. And then there's apparently other powers that they haven't talked about yet.
So he's Peter Petrelli when he got smarter, but still kind of useless.
We'll see. Yeah, they're saying like the cinematics and just like it feels really cinematic, and they're doing motion capture, and they got Troy Baker playing Delson Rowe, and so all that looks really good. But the moral choice part just seems like everything else is so much better than the other ones, but this is the same.
Troy Baker's he's like becoming like Nolan North.
I know, right?
It's like everything now.
We should have a year where it's just them two in every game.
Well, on the plus side though, Nolan North
hilarious.
kind of like kind of fell off after that 1 year. He was in everything.
He
Literally.
wasn't like everything. Yeah, it was like ridiculous. Like, wait, is this Nolan North too? What's happening right now? How is he in this game? It was kind of ridiculous.
Maybe he's just like, I got paid. I'll just take a break.
Yeah, I think that's what it seems like. That's the only logical.
It's like voice acting. I can just phone it in now. It's like I got this down. Let me take a year off.
Because like, what has he been in recently?
He was Deadpool
Was he?
in
Oh,
Dead.
That's weird.
I didn't play that, so I don't know.
He was in The Last of Us too.
Was he really? But was it Troy Baker in that too?
Yep.
Of course he was.
So we've already had that combo. Actually, they were also both in Batman Arkham City.
This is getting ridiculous.
Or wait, was Troy Baker in that?
Troy Baker
Can't-
was the Joker.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that was Arkham.
Origins.
Yeah, Arkham Origins was also in Nolan North, right?
I don't
With
know.
Pink. I think so.
Probably. I mean, when in doubt, it's probably probably one of the two of them at this point. So
So yeah, I think Infamous. You know, my guess is that Infamous will get sort of similar type reviews from the same sort of people. So like the people who really liked Infamous before will give it higher ones, and then the people who always thought that it was sort of okay will get middle ones. But I think it's gonna sell a lot more than the other ones just because the PS4 early adopters are looking for that game that's gonna be like, ha! We have the better system. Look at how good this looks.
my issue from this game has always been the morality thing, though. It's kind of just like, why hasn't this changed after 3 games?
I mean, it was cool. Like the ending of Infamous 2 was really awesome, and it was really cool how the missions were totally different depending on which side you went.
But I just don't like
And, like,
everything being so
the
black and
evil
white,
side was
though.
so
It's
fun.
like- it's just, I don't know. Especially, I mean, my biggest issue with the ending was kind of how it just pretty much everything, it just canceled out everything you did, whether you were good or bad. 'Cause it's like that one
But it's, like,
choice
the last
pretty
one,
much
yeah.
locks you into good or evil. And so it's like, what was the point of all of this then?
Like
if-
your powers were different. Like you were only sort of bad if you went all
Sort
the
of
way
bad.
and then you chose bad.
I was
You
never
had,
sort
like-
of bad tropical. It's not how I operate.
But like, you know, you're much more powerful if you're totally bad.
Oh, I know. Although I kind of, I don't know, like seeing what's her faces, the ice chick's powers seemed like they were cooler than like Nyx's though, because like Nyx's the whole, like I was assuming you were gonna get like it was gonna be fire based, but it's like oil and some weird stuff going on with whatever her powers were. And I was like, this is weird.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, like I feel like just like Killzone Shadowfall, the Infamous is gonna benefit because like people are looking for that game. They're looking for the game that shows that their system is better.
Well, I mean, Sony has more first party than that other console.
Yeah, but you know that's not how it works. It's not about logic. It's about boom, you got served.
That makes far more sense.
Anyway, yeah, speaking of that, so Titanfall also got its first impressions from the beta, which apparently is starting on the 14th.
Oh, that's like Friday. Which is
Yes, it is.
Wait a
And
minute.
apparently,
Japanese PS4 launch happen soon?
22nd.
Okay.
So like 10 days from now, Japan gets
I was thinking
PS4.
it was sooner, but whatever.
Yeah, unfortunately, Deep Down got delayed
Oh,
to
no.
summer, so that's not going to be a Japanese launch game. Final Fantasy XIV's beta is going to start though on the launch day, or I think it starts. Yeah, launch day in Japan, so 22nd.
Mm.
Nothing else has been delayed from the Japanese launch. I don't think. Like Yakuza is still coming out. So I don't know. That's going to be pretty crazy. Anyway, yeah, Titanfall's beta information got released. You could sign up starting yesterday. Beta starts on Friday the 14th and goes until the 18th, which I think is Tuesday.
That's pretty short.
Yeah, it's a really short beta. I think it's mostly for hype. The GameStop I was at today, apparently they got an email saying that GameStop people get beta codes. And so you can see it's like, unlike Best Buy, GameStop or whoever is marketing and like wants to use GameStop, they believe that the store people can affect opinion about games.
That's if they even know what a game is half the
Well,
time.
actually, I think that's true because the last two like sellouts from GameStop online I've looked at have had like Titanfall front and center on the front page.
Yeah.
But I mean, the employees themselves might not necessarily be.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you let them play the beta, and then it's only that short amount of time. So
but that's
it's
if
like
that's you assuming they own these consoles
it,
to do it.
It's exclusive, and you're just like, oh man, I exclusively got to play this beta, and it was only 4 days, and I was really hyped, and now I'm super hyped, and I'm gonna hype everyone who comes in here.
Woo, hype! But yeah. But I mean, it's like, I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense because like even like I went into GameStop the other day when I was picking up Danganronpa or whatever, and like
I have no idea what your games are.
Well, yeah, there was that obviously, but or how do you?
I remember that tweet? That was funny.
Game like, it's like I think virtual last for what's that?
Yeah,
game?
exactly. So like, what? Yeah. Why do you ask me questions? Don't. But it's like he was telling like the guy in front of me, or he was like kind of like leading him towards like an Xbox purchase, but then mentioned that he prefers Killzone, and I was like, these are on 2 different consoles, and it's like, what are you doing right now? And it's like, I don't even think he owned either of them. So I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this right now because now you're lying to people, and it's like, I don't know.
Well, to me, like having worked at both of these places, it was interesting to hear. It's like, oh, they got this offer to play the Titanfall beta, and it's like, well, why would the company want that? It's like, obviously, it's so they know about Titanfall, and that's different. Like usually, there's no game training at GameStop. You just like, oh, I like games, and I'm willing to work for peanuts, and they're like, you're hired, and then, if you know about games, great. If you don't know about games, oh, that's okay.
That works too.
You can read the back of the box. If it's new, it's labeled new. If it's used, it's labeled.
And you know how to use a scanner, right? You just point and click, like the shooters you don't play. So
when you're selling games, like they don't. There's nothing about games really in your training. It's all about operations and like how to do stuff. And games knowledge is all just like extra bonus for them. They don't really care.
Basically.
Especially Best Buy. Best Buy is just like, I don't, they don't, I mean, I guess economically it makes sense. No one is going to pay you to play games, but they should. Like, they should pay you to understand the products, and then you can go sell the products. But since they don't do that, then the only product you can sell is protection plans, and that's just really dumb. But anyway, yeah, so it was just interesting to see GameStop's like, someone out there is like, if we get all the GameStop employees excited about Titanfall, then they will sell Titanfall for us. And that is, in my experience, that's really rare. Salespeople selling the product that they're selling for some other people who, they make it and they make the money, and they're not concentrating on magazines, protection plan, all the stuff that the store wants us to sell.
Yeah, I've never seen them try to sell stuff like that.
But anyway, yeah, impressions of the Titanfall beta. Some people are really hyped and sort of continuing their hype, and then other people who have played it are mentioning it's like, well, the hype has sort of made it out to be like the next great thing in gaming. It's going to be the next evolution of shooters and stuff. And some people are saying like, yeah, I don't see that. It feels like Call of Duty, but with mechs. And it doesn't feel like the next evolution of shooters. It feels like, yeah, Call of Duty with mechs. It's like, it's different. But is that an evolution? I don't know. Yeah. And then like the financial reporting is all about, oh, this is the game that Microsoft really needs right now. And will it be? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And they don't answer it. Personally, well, I'm hoping I do get in the beta. So I did sign up
Yeah,
also.
you probably will. You can select every beta.
That would be great. I would love to play it. But yeah, so far from what I've read and from what I've seen, I don't think it has any chance at all of becoming the next big thing, just because it's sort of, what's the term? It's like a core gamer game. You know, like Call of Duty is what it is because it broke out of core gamers. Core gamers, we were like, oh wow, Modern Warfare and this like perk system and this level up thing. This is really cool and really fun, and we played it. And then the casual people, not like the cell phone landfill casual people, but like the casual people, they were like, "Oh wow, this is really fun." And then that's why it is what it is. And Titanfall is, I think it's too, it's, I don't know, it's like the sci-fi thing. Like sci-fi stuff is never as popular as not sci-fi stuff.
Huh. Well, that's very. Huh.
Isn't that kind of true? Like
Is
sheer
it though?
numbers
Because
wise.
isn't. Hmm.
I couldn't say.
I don't know. Because isn't like.
As far as gaming go, I think that would be true though.
I don't know. Because, I mean, sci-fi is pretty popular in gaming, isn't it? Maybe? No? I don't
No.
know.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
mean, as
Like
far as like sales numbers go,
gaming, yeah, like as like core gamers, you know, in I think it's
'cause
because
Halo was big, but then Call of Duty like overtook it. So
yeah, and
Mm.
like I think Halo was well, first of all, like because it came from the Xbox, and people who bought an Xbox 360 immediately, of course they were Xbox fans, and of course they liked Halo because what else was on that system? I don't know. Yeah, it just feels like Titanfall doesn't have the appeal for the casuals. And so yeah, like I don't think it does as well as they need it to.
Hmm.
That is my prediction. But I don't know. I haven't played it.
Well, it has mechs in it,
I
and
play
this
it.
isn't Japan, so I don't know.
Like that's the thing. I think I've said this before. Like I think a lot of people play Call of Duty because they like that it feels quote unquote realistic. Or the earlier ones did. And then now it's just like it has realistic guns, and that's about it. And Titanfall doesn't have any of those things, and I think that that may be um, not appealing to the Call of Duty audience. It's not like they don't want to play every shooter. They're not shooter fans. They're Call of Duty fans. That makes sense, right?
yeah,
Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
So yeah, hopefully we'll know more about Titanfall because this closed beta you're allowed to talk about, so that will be a first.
That
for
doesn't
me.
make sense. Oh wait, yes it does, I guess.
Yeah, because they need everyone to be talking about Titanfall.
Why don't they just make it an open beta then?
Perhaps they can't support it, or maybe they're afraid. It's like we can let some people play it, but we're afraid that if too many people play it, then they'll like the chances of people not liking it will be higher, or the chances that there will be people spreading non-fandom will be higher.
Hmm.
I don't know. They should have made an open beta.
They should have. I agree with me.
Any other news? There was
there's something I forgot though, but I'm sorry.
well, all I know is like the order stuff. The embargo on that drops next week on the 18th. Tomorrow morning, so Thursday morning, an embargo dropped for MLB 14, the show, which I think baseball fans have been really nervous about because usually the game is out by now, or it would be out like March 5th or something. And
Oh my god, that's my birthday.
we just haven't heard anything about it yet, and so people are sort of nervous. And some of the speculation is like, well, it's the only baseball game coming out, so they don't perhaps feel pressured to release that early anymore. So yeah, that's that. Any other news? Not really. Tekken, you haven't touched your Vita yet?
Nope. Well, no. Well, yeah,
Like-
no.
Like, played it?
Not like an extended session since I got it. No.
You
Oh, I
disappoint.
guess that was the big thing. Borderlands 2
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Vita was announced, or not announced, but
The bundle.
confirmed, and for a bundle with the Vita Slim, which comes out sometime in the spring. The only place that has pre-orders right now is Amazon, and they have it listed for May 31st. But there was a tweet that was sent out that said Borderlands would be out March 18th, and then
Oh,
that
man.
tweet was removed. So it's
Oh.
like, what does that mean? Unfortunately, it's not going to be cross-play as I thought I read, but maybe I read it wrong, or maybe Polygon reported it wrong and then changed it later. But it will have cross-save, and it will have 6 of the DLC that came out for the other console versions, though they didn't say which ones those would be. So that's really exciting. Borderlands 2, man, cross-save. I will have so many more characters with higher levels than they are now.
That's cheating.
Cross-save. Ha 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 ha. Vitas. Well, you have a Vita too.
I do.
You're set.
I am.
Tekken's got a Vita too.
He does. He's set to.
We all set. All right. So yeah, I think that was the news that I remember. I mean, quickly there were things like 100 games coming out for Vita, 100 games coming out for PS4 this year. 1 in 3 Vita PS4 owners also has a Vita. Strangely, only 250,000 people have tried remote play with it.
I don't have a PS4 in my defense.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Oh yeah, there's something about like the amount of PlayStation Plus usage on PS4, but whatever. It's beside the point.
Lots.
Because we're like, we're almost at a little time limit here, so we're gonna like wrap it up here.
Oh,
and
no.
Sign off. Wait, what's
Check
up?
us out, Aimless Podcasts, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and aimlesspodcast.com.
We everywhere. We in your head.
So anything to say before we sign off? RPG Chaptical?
That wasn't enough.
I know, right? So
We
you want
go
more?
ahead, isn't it?
What do you want, Tekken? What will please you?
That just seemed like it was a plug. I'm just saying.
That was a plug.
We can't plug.
Never mind.
is
Never mind. Sheesh. You have anything to say, RPG?
Are you not entertained? Are you not happy?
I'm pretty entertained,
Well, there's no pleasing you, Tekken. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, until Oh wait. I forgot. Aimless Babble Z announcer dude. You got something to say? Hey viewers.
Oh.
What'll happen on next week's episode? Will RPG return? Will Tropical finish a game from his backlog? Will Tekken finally make some progress in Arc the Lad 2? Who knows? Find out in next week's episode of Aimless Babble Z. Alright, well, besides that, until you hear or see from us again, this is Aimless Babble Z, and we're now signing off.